Welcome back to another Cuz Bad Guys Tactical Breakdown. In today's episode, we're going to go over Deadshot, the Batman miniatures game version of him, and it's also their classic version. So this is the version that's out of the comic books. That's going to be when he's in the Team Secret Six, as well as when he's with the Suicide Squad. I really like this version of him because he's got the classic super sniper rifle, which is something that I think Deadshot has always got on him when he's first setting up to take that shot and really take somebody out. It's super sweet. Well, let's go ahead and get into his character card. This is Floyd Lawton, aka Deadshot. He is a free agent, affiliate unknown. So we've got to look at his hates personal trait. So he hates Batman, Green Arrow, Law Forces, and the Joker. So he can be taken with any of the bad guy crews, except for Joker. And I think the reason for that is because of the New 52 Suicide Squad storyline. So if anybody's familiar with that, he has a pretty hardcore run-in with Harley Quinn, who's like going a little crazy because she thinks that the Joker's been killed. And there's, I won't do any spoilers for anybody that wants to go read those comics, but it's pretty intense, so it makes sense that he won't do anything with the Joker. Alright, so let's go ahead and go over his weapons, which for Deadshot is going to be one of his funnest things to talk about. So first off, he's got his Barrett. It's a 50 cal sniper rifle, which so far in the game is one of the most devastating weapons to have to date. So it's 4 blood, which is astronomically good. It's rate of fire 1, ammo 3, firearm, so always wounds on a 2+, has reload, so can only be fired every other turn, has aim, which means he can't move and then shoot it because it's a sniper rifle. That makes sense. It's anti-tank, so it ignores all the armor rules, and then it gets to reroll to damage against actual vehicles because anti-tank is really good against vehicles. It also has the scope rule, which means he can ignore any pings in the way. So any cover saves that anybody's trying to get is ignored. He also gets night vision. So that means with it being having no range on it, so it's not short range or medium range, it means he can see the whole board as long as he actually has line of sight. It also has crit triple blood. So if you roll that 6 on your collateral dice, not only are you going to do 4 damage as long as you get a successful damage roll, but you're going to do 3 more damage if you roll that 6. So that means you're going to do 7 damage to somebody, which is going to outright kill most characters in the game. Giving Deadshot a gun like this is totally awesome. Like, just picturing him coming out of a comic book, like scoping out somebody and just pop. It's so much fun to play this guy. He's so cool. And not only does he have his Barrett, but he also has his classic 9mm twin cannons, which is the gun essentially you're going to shoot in between turns or in between rounds of shooting the Barrett. Because the Barrett has reload, it means you're going to have 1 turn of downtime. So him being able to have this other gun totally makes him worth it. It is 2 blood, rate of fire 2, ammo 2, firearm, so wounds on a 2+, medium range, so can shoot up to 40 centimeters as long as you're under light. So normally he's only going to be able to shoot these 30 centimeters because he doesn't have any night vision, which is fine. The way I play this guy, it totally works. And then the light rule, so he can shoot once, like his rate of fire drops to 1 if there's an enemy within 5 centimeters, which a lot of guys want to run up close to him to try to shut down that Barrett shot. And let's go over his stats. So he's willpower 7, so up there with high-end free agents as well as leaders. He's strength 5 plus. He's movement 3, attack 3, defense 3, endurance 7, special 3. So the strength 5 plus is kind of bad, but he has 5 ammo, so you're not going to really worry about getting into close combat. You're not going to worry about punching guys. You're going to be shooting essentially the entire game. He's movement 3, which is great. He's attack and defense 3, which is kind of low end for free agents. Usually one of those is a 4, but he's a shooter, so it kind of balances out because you're not putting him into the thick of it. He kind of sits at 30 centimeters from guys and just takes shots. So that's not too bad. And then his endurance 7 is awesome because normally free agents are usually like 6. So 7 is really good. Let's go on to personal traits. So his first personal trait is dodge, which brings back to movement 3, which is great. So dodge gives you the ability to dodge bullets or arrows or batarangs, any projectile weapon, as long as you have a movement counter and you spend a movement counter to dodge it, and you've got to do an agility test, which is rolling equal to or under your movement. So that means on a single dice, he needs to roll a 3 or less to dodge, and he gets to dodge those shots. And because he's a sniper, you don't want him up in the front. You have him in the back, so normally guys are just going to try to shoot at him, and because he has dodge, he can get out of the way. It totally works out. Next, he has obsessive, which is essentially his only downside for this guy. Obsessive is the first time you attack a model, you have to keep attacking that model until they're KO'd or casualtied. You also get a +1 strength bonus, which this guy essentially is never going to use because he's strength 5. So, and he's got guns, so he's never going to like run up and take advantage of that strength bonus. But he has to kill that first guy. If he misses, he has to keep trying to kill that one guy because essentially that guy's been marked for death or has some kind of bounty that Deadshot is going to be taken on. Then he's got Range Master, which of course Deadshot has. Range Master is +1 to hit. So if somebody's defense 3, their defense drops to a 2, so you need a 2 or more to hit them. So every guy that he tries to shoot at gets easier to hit. Then we're going to go ahead and move on to special traits. So his first special trait is Outlaw Field Commander. So this is spend 1 special, and you can choose a friendly model within 10 centimeters, and you can give that character your action counter, so he can get a movement or an attack or a defense or a special. This is essentially baby inspire, but you can put this onto leaders and onto sidekicks. So you can give other heroes, like other heroes or bad guys, or like other Suicide Squad members or other Secret 6 members in a team, you can give them an extra counter, which is great. It works really, really well. So he's good backup for anybody to have. The next special trait is Assassin 3. So if he kills an enemy leader, he immediately gets 3 extra points for your team. That can be game changing because all of a sudden you jump 3 points ahead, and it's just really big. And with him having that Barrett, it's pretty easy to do because he just puts them in his sights and just shoots them. And as long as they're not an acrobat or like dodgy, he can totally take them down. All right, so let's go over his reputation cost. So he costs 90 reputation, which when you look at his stat line, it's pretty steep because he doesn't have, like I said, he doesn't have attack or defense 4. He doesn't have a high strength, but then you look at his weapons and you see that he has 5 ammo. And most games of Batman are 6 to 8 turns. So that means for a vast majority of the game, you're going to be able to shoot. You're not going to have to worry about spending turns to get into range, or because his Barrett has unlimited range and has a scope. So as long as you see a guy, you can shoot him. And then let's go over his funding cost. So he costs $600. And a lot of people are going to think, hey, wait, that's the same cost as an assault rifle. And that's true. The thing about it, though, is that assault rifles, usually there's only one in a crew that you can take. So that means you still have a ton of cash to be able to take another guy. And to equate this guy to being in the same ballpark as an assault rifle is pretty on par. He doesn't have the max number of damage, like the max possible damage as an assault rifle could, but he is much more accurate. He's much more dependable. He can shoot through bulletproof vests with his Barrett. So the 600 cash, pretty reasonable, I think. All right, so let's go over my strengths and weaknesses for this guy. So his strengths, he is an assassin. This guy, if you shoot the enemy leader and you actually get him, you're going to get a mountain load, like a bucket load of points for killing their leader. It's totally worth it to try to headhunt and get that Assassin 3, because usually it can definitely win you the game. And weaknesses. So I would say his biggest weakness is his stat line. You want to make sure not to give free shots for people. They have to work for him. Make sure that he runs behind characters. Make sure he's always got some kind of bodyguard, because all it takes is for Batman or Hawkman or Cyborg or somebody like that to swoop down on this guy and take him out, because he has defense 3, which is pretty easy to hit. The endurance 7 kind of saves him a little bit sometimes, but you've got to make sure to take care of him or he's gonna go down. All right, and then how do I play with this guy? So as you guys can probably summarize, the way I play with this guy is usually on a team. I usually take him in Suicide Squad or in the Secret Six. When I take him in the Suicide Squad, he usually runs around with Harley or Killer Croc. I have him keep giving an action counter with Field Commander to whoever that is. And then in the Secret Six, he is straight up the buddy with Catman, and he just keeps giving a counter to Catman and then just stays 10 centimeters behind him the entire time. And I can't tell you the amount of times that I've been fighting somebody with Catman or with Harley or with Killer Croc, and Deadshot just does a point blank Barrett shot and doesn't move and just blows whoever it is away. It's awesome. It's so much fun. And this is the paint job that I did for the classic Deadshot. I just tried to copy as much as possible the Night Models paint job that they did. I really like the contrast between the yellow and the red, and then his gun that he's holding. His pose like that is just super awesome looking. And that's my thoughts on the classic Deadshot. So remember, 'cause bad guys.